Hello and welcome to the first ever edition of Mountaineer Mafia. On this channel, we're going to talk about Appalachian State football, as a dead giveaway with the jersey behind me and the cup over here behind my shoulder. We'll just try and give you a little bit of a review of week previous and a little bit of a preview of what's to come in the possible week. I'm not going to throw out a bunch of stats. That's what the internet's for. We can throw numbers around all we want, but the main thing is to give the fan base a little bit of fans' perspective and just have a little fun with it. So, going back to Howard last week, FCS team, low level, not a ton of talent. They're coming out of losing a good quarterback and running back from last year, so they were even less powerful than they were before, and it showed. They did play pretty well there in the first quarter before the game really started to head our direction for the rest of it. And I really don't think we did anything wrong in that game. It was the first game of the season, so sure, there were some incompletions that maybe should have been caught, some running back holes that should have been hit that were missed, but I mean, those are little things. Every team, no matter who you are, is going to have those types of situations occur in the first game of the season. But overall, I thought we executed very well. When the big play happened, it was pretty obviously going to be a big play. As soon as the first move was made to lose the defender, there's just no way Howard's players were going to stay with our speed. Our size on the line was pretty evident. We did not get pushed around, which is a very good thing. It shows that we are no longer an FCS team. We really have transitioned into that FBS role, and I think we're going to continue to do so. Even the guys that came in late, you could still see an obvious size difference and an obvious talent difference. And the final score was pretty evident of how the game went. The very best thing that came out of the game for me was a shutout. You don't earn a shutout just by sheer luck. I mean, Howard didn't even walk away with a field goal, and I think I can remember maybe once that they went for it on fourth down in field goal range instead of kicking. So yeah, maybe that could have changed the final score a little bit if they decided to kick, but there's no guarantee the kicker would have made the kick anyway. So to me, the biggest thing coming out of that first game is good execution on offense and great execution on defense. So we're going to have to go into Clemson with a fair mindset, though. This team is going to be bigger, faster, stronger. Even though we're on a level playing field as far as scholarships go, it's not going to look much like the game from last week. In fact, it won't look anything like the game from last week. Even if we play amazingly better than we played last week, the score is not going to look anything the same, and I don't think anyone has any qualms with that. That being said, I do think that we have a chance to pull it off. It's going to take some bad decisions and some bad plays by their quarterback, some fumbles, some interceptions, and it's going to take a lot fewer of those mistakes from us. So what we've got to go into this game doing is keep our heads. If there's a turnover on our side early, they're going to have to shake that off. Lamb's going to have to just forget about any mistakes he makes and still be that leader on the offense that they need him to be. I saw a lot of leadership just mainly by the way he played last Saturday. You know, he didn't get frustrated on a run that only went 1 yard that they maybe should have gotten more out of, or a loss, or an incompletion. You didn't see him get upset about the little things, and he just stayed focused and played a heck of a game. We're going to have to get Cox going. He had some good runs on Saturday, and we're going to need him to have at least as many, if not more, of those this Saturday if we want to pull that upset off. We're definitely going to have to keep Deshaun Watson in check, their quarterback. He's much like an Armani type, for those of you who remember him. He's just a dynamic guy. I mean, he's gonna run when he can or when he needs to, and our linebackers are gonna have to be ready to make reads on him, and I think they'll be able to contain him pretty well. But I mean, there's no stopping the guy really, and he's gonna get his plays, he's gonna get his yards. We just have to keep it to a minimum as much as we can. And he's not a Heisman hopeful for no reason. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and predict the final score. I am going to still go with Clemson as a realist, but I think it could be pretty close. I'm going to say Clemson probably gets a little over 30 points, so I'll go with something like 36 for Clemson, and I'll give App probably, I think I'd be really happy if they could score three or four touchdowns. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be a couple times they come away with just some field goals. So I'm going to give us about 20 points. And I think it'll be a pretty realistic expectation of what could happen, especially if we score that many points. The years past when we've played this type of competition, we haven't even been close. So if we can keep it within a 2-score game, I think we come out pretty proud and focus on next week and take it into the bye week, I guess is what I should say, and just come out injury free and ready to go for the next game. See you guys next time.